We live in this world of instant everything. Messages, videos, constant connection. But in the middle of all this futuristic tech, there's this, Survivor. A piece of technology from the age of steam that just refuses to go away. And it's a paradox that tells us a whole lot about how progress really works. So, let's get into it.
To really get how weird this is, first, we've got to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of our digital lives today. I mean, the numbers are just mind-blowing.
Okay, let's start with this one. We are talking about 6.04 billion people online. Think about that for a second. That's nearly 3 out of every 4 people on the entire planet all plugged into the same giant network.
And of course, a huge chunk of that is social media. We're looking at 5.66 billion active social media accounts. So basically, more than 2/3 of the human race is on these platforms. It's just staggering.
And here's where it gets truly wild. There are 7.4 billion smartphones being used right now. That number is bigger than the number of unique mobile users, which means a lot of us are walking around with more than one. We are just completely and totally plugged in.
So what's the engine behind all this? What's the invisible force pulling all these different pieces of tech into one massive, powerful current? Well, it boils down to one single concept that really defines our modern world.
And that big idea is called technological convergence. It's the theory that explains exactly why that little device you have in your pocket can do, well, pretty much everything.
At its heart, convergence is all about smashing different technologies together. It's this incredibly powerful idea that things that started out as totally separate, like say a phone and a camera, don't just exist side by side. Nope, they merge. They become something totally new.
I mean, just think about your own life, right? Your watch isn't just a watch anymore. It tracks your health. Your phone is a movie theater. Your camera is a supercomputer. Every single one of these things, which used to be distinct objects, has been swallowed up by this relentless trend. And it all leads to the one ultimate example.
Right, the smartphone. It isn't just a better phone. It is convergence in physical form. It's your camera, your computer, your stereo, your TV, and your telephone all squeezed into one single device. This has become the fundamental rule of technology in our time.
But what if there was an exception to that rule? A piece of tech that just completely ignores this powerful force of convergence. A ghost from the past that's still kind of haunting our offices.
And that's the big question, isn't it? In a world where absolutely everything is designed to merge together, why is this one ancient piece of hardware still stubbornly hanging on all by itself?
This quote from a sysadmin on Reddit it perfectly captures the feeling. You can almost hear it, right? That slow, screeching digital handshake from a totally different era that's still echoing in some of the most important industries in the world.
Yep, that's what this is all about. The fax machine, invented in the 19th century, and somehow it is still here, whirring away in the 21st. The real question is, why?
Well, the answer isn't just about people being stubborn or refusing to change. The reasons the fax machine has survived are actually surprisingly logical, and they have everything to do with law, security, and just plain old human systems.
So it all comes down to this really crucial difference in how they work. A fax is a direct point-to-point connection. It's like a phone call. It goes straight from one machine to another. But email bounces all over the place, through different servers, leaving digital copies behind. So legally, an email is treated like a postcard. It's kind of public. But intercepting a fax without a warrant, that's wiretapping. And that is a much, much bigger deal.
So its survival really stands on 3 pillars. First up, legal and compliance. For industries like healthcare, which have to follow strict privacy laws like HIPAA in the US, the fax is considered secure. Second, proof of receipt. You know that little confirmation page that prints out? That thing is often treated as legal proof that a document was sent and received, which can be surprisingly tricky to prove with email. And third is just good old-fashioned institutional inertia. Basically, when a system already works, is legally solid, and is built into how an entire industry operates, changing it is a massive, expensive nightmare.
And look, this isn't some niche thing. We're talking about huge, critical sectors of our society. Hospitals sending patient records, law firms sending contracts, government agencies, banks, real estate. They all still depend on this tech for very modern and very important reasons.
So what does this technological ghost actually teach us? Because the story of the fax machine is way more than just a funny little piece of trivia. It's a huge lesson in how progress actually happens.
This whole thing just pulls back the curtain on the true nature of progress.
We love to think it's this clean, straight line, where the newest, best tech always wins. But that's a total myth. The reality is that progress is messy. It gets bent and twisted by laws, by who's liable if something goes wrong, and by the simple fact that our human systems, our courts, our hospitals, they just evolve way, way slower than our gadgets do.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. The fax machine survived because it solved the problem that all the new, shiny technologies just completely missed. So it makes you wonder, what's the fax machine of our generation? What piece of tech that seems old or outdated today is quietly doing some crucial job that will make sure it outlives whatever we think is coming next?